Okay, hi everyone. You are looking at my Libby homepage. This is actually the first time I've screen recorded on my channel, so bear with me as I'm sort of learning how to navigate this. But, anyways, what I wanted to discuss today is my Libby account. I am in no way, like an official sponsor of Libby, but I should be because I'm obsessed with them and I literally have encouraged at least 10 friends to get a Libby. I've sent them links, that kind of thing. So for those of you that are unfamiliar, it is a digital library connector. So allows you to check out audiobooks and ebooks via your home library. And have those copies digitally for your rental period. Since getting a Libby account, I have become an avid ebook and audiobook to some extent reader, along with my physical copies, and it has allowed me to engage a lot more with my public library. So it's been just an awesome resource for me, and it adds just another layer of fun for my love of books. Anyways, I digress. I'm actually, just for context, I have more than one library synced up to my Libby because I've moved around a little bit in the last few years. So until those accounts expire with my libraries, which, when I'm no longer able to like renew it because I don't have an address in that library's network anymore, I'll be sad. But I just wanted to show you some of the folders that I have, the tags, and just kind of peruse it because I think it's fun and kind of an interesting way to see how people organize their reading. So this is the Digital Library of Illinois, their like homepage where they feature books based on themes and categories. So I'll often give these a look, but generally when I come into Libby, I will first have a look through my own tags. So this button down here is your own shelf. I've got 2 books checked out right now. The first is Cursed Daughters by Oyin Braithwaite, and then the second is Deathless Divide by Justina Ireland, which is the second book in the Dread Nation duology, which is Reconstruction America plus zombies. So it's a hoot. I think that's kind of YA. This is definitely more adult. I won't do a synopsis of them, sorry. You can also see holds. So I have between all 3 of the libraries, because I'm kind of at this point still using all 3 to like figure out which has the shortest lines and check out books that way. But I've got 20 something books on hold if you include both ebooks and audiobooks. So I'll just have a scroll through those. Some of these I've had on hold and have been like suspended with that new feature for months. So I really just need to get to these. There's probably like 5 of these that that have been checked out or like have been on my holds list since 2024, and I just keep suspending or postponing checking them out. So like I'm at the top of the line and I just keep passing it off to somebody else until I'm ready. Quite a few of these are romance, at least in this little section, but it often includes new releases too. And then we've got a number of audiobooks here from the Emma M. Lyons series that I have been getting into recently. They're very fun, simple. I guess they're Edwardian England, if I were to guess. I don't actually know what year they're set in, but I would think it's Edwardian England. Just kind of the trials and tribulations of a young woman who is trying to regain ownership of her rightful family home. Anyways, I digress. That's my holds. So these are things that I have not read yet, but I'm hoping to soon. And then where the real fun starts, and the reason I wanted to make this video, is the tags section, because I have a billion of them, and they're just cool ways to kind of categorize books that you want to read. So if you are a mood reader, I think this is such a fun way to do it, because then you can be like, okay, I'm really in the mood for this kind of book. And I've taken the time over the years to categorize all of these books, generally not by genre, But I'll show you more. So up here, Olive's faves and Mara faves. These are some of the favorite books, like 5 or 4-star books from 2 of my favorite YouTubers. So I will include their channels below, but Mara is the owner of the channel Books Like Whoa. And then Olive, I forget what her actual channel name is. Is it Olive Reads? Well, I will find out and I will post it in my description box. But Olive tends to do a lot of nonfiction, but she has some fiction that she really likes. And the fiction that she loves tends to be fiction that I enjoy. And then I've got a couple of nonfiction too that were recent favorites of hers. And then Mara from Books Like Whoa has done a number of, my favorite books of all time videos. So most of these are coming from that. A few of them are coming from recent monthly wrap-ups of books that she loved, but maybe weren't all-time favorites, but were definitely, hits. And so I've put a few in that are things that sounded interesting to me based on her descriptions. Actually, I don't think she's read Apollo's Angels, or at least not fully based on the last videos I've seen about it, but I've heard about that book from her. Next, we have fiction audiobooks. I normally don't listen to fiction on audio. It's almost exclusively nonfiction for me that I'll do as an audiobook, and I treat it kind of like a podcast where I'll do like a chapter a night, or in the car or whatever. But I'm trying to get more into fiction audio, if only because I don't have a lot of personal time right now, like time to myself, outside of my workday. That's not really time to myself, but I mean like time that I'm not caring for my son, or just doing things with my family. So I don't have as much time to consume fiction with my eyes as I once did, and I love reading, and I love works of fiction, and so I thought maybe I should give it a try and dabble with some shorter fiction audiobooks. As I say that, I scroll past Don Quixote. So ignore that one and the Iliad. But most of these are pretty short. They're like under 10-hour audiobooks. I tend to listen to audiobooks at like 1.25 to 1.5 speed. I don't think I've ever gone above that. I'm always impressed by the people that can listen at 2.0 speed. I can't listen at 1. It's way too slow. 1.5, it just depends on the speed of the narrator, right? But for me, like 1.25 to 1.45 tends to be where I find the sweet spot. Anyway, so that means that most of these will take like around 5 to 7 hours, which can be done in a couple of days, especially if I'm listening while I'm doing like data entry stuff at work. Anywho, some of these have been on my radar for a long time, and I'm not super interested in buying them. Like, I don't think that they're going to be new favorites of mine, but I want to stay, they're things that everyone has read. Like, Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. I feel like had a billion reviews when it came out, probably 10 years ago. And I never got around to it, but it was part of the public discourse for a long period, and won a lot of awards. I just don't think it's going to be my personal favorite, so I'm kind of like happy to relegate it to audio, where I will where I will retain like 90% of it instead of 100% of it, 95, 100%. I do think my retention rate with audio has improved over the years, and so that's why I'm kind of like willing to dabble with fiction a little bit more. Okay, yeah, that's my fiction audiobook tag. Next, I have Herkyed. I haven't posted about this, but I am kind of loosely participating in the Herkyed 2.0 challenge for 2025 to 2026. I don't think I'll finish the challenge. Like, I don't think I'll actually complete every single thing, but I'm really trying to. I've got like 40 prompts left, and it's already March, and it finishes in early July. So like realistically, I'm not going to finish 40 books by then, but maybe if the audiobooks crank up a little, I can. Anyways, these are books that would fit some of my still incomplete prompts for Herkyed. Both both ebook and audiobook, as you can see. So just a good list here, a good chunk. None of these are ones that like I have to read. I have other options for prompts, but if I'm wanting to accomplish something with my iPad, my e-reader, if you will, I can select from that group. And then I've got a few of these tags. Like I said, I think it's 3 libraries that I technically have, like, what is it called? Membership? Library membership? Sure. But I'm actually only like in the district or whatever of one of those now. The other 2 just haven't asked me to like renew my membership in the last year or 2. And so I'm still like skating by as a member, even though I'm no longer a part of those communities. Like I'm no longer living in those communities. And so I've made folders for myself where these 38 books here, no longer at Harris, and then no longer at BPL, or not at BPL, 36 books. I've gone through and tagged like basically every single book that's in my TBR in Libby as, are they available at my current library, like my actual where I live now library? And if the answer is no, I've put them in one of those 2 folders to basically be like, hey, if you want to get to these, the time is nigh, because I don't know when those library memberships are going to expire. Maybe they just keep them open in perpetuity, and that's great, but I would love to get these counts down to 0 in the next year or 2. I know which one would likely go first, which is Harris. So I'll, try to prioritize maybe 10 to 15 of those books in the next couple of years. And then, chip away at the not at BPL folder too. If you want to see what some of those books are. Like, here's an example. So not at Harris, we've got The Perilous Guard. This was also in the Mara Favorites folder. You can see there's no copies in actually, now that I'm looking at it, this is available at my current library, so that's fine. But I digress. Long story short, I just wanted to make sure that I'm not missing out on reading these if they aren't available at the library that I'm currently living in. Do you know what I'm saying? The library that's in my current town. Okay, nonfiction TBR is just like literally every single book that falls into every other mini folder will probably also live in my nonfic TBR or my fiction TBR, which is down at the bottom, 361. So like those 2 folders are the biggest. Those 2 tabs are the biggest. They represent probably every single book that's in all of the other subtags too. This one that just has emojis, the moon, tulip, rainbow, those are just emojis that remind me of my mom. And I am going through an anticipatory grief period in my life right now. If you know, you know. And so I have a lot of books here talking about grief, talking about death and disease, the condition that my mom is working through, Parkinson's disease. So these are just, whenever I'm in a headspace that I feel like I can handle listening to or reading about grief or death or Parkinson's, I will consume one of those. I have not made a lot of progress in this folder. I think it started at 15, probably 3 years ago. So I'm doing like one a year basically. But, just whenever I'm in a headspace where I feel like I can consume one of those things, I feel like they have been helpful for me in building tools to work through the grief and the watching of disease and death for a loved one. Smart Mom with a Little Flower. These are all parenting related books. Again, I don't really consume all of these all that often. I am already a full-time parent. I don't necessarily want to add that into my reading, which is supposed to be an escape and exclusively enjoyable. But sometimes if I'm, again, feeling up to it, don't feel like I'm being, like, I don't know what overburdened isn't the word, but like if I'm being like really kind of dragged down in my parenting life, I'm probably not going to pick one of these up. But if things are going really well for us as a family and I'm in a good headspace, maybe I'll pick one of these up just so I can, learn from other parents who have gone through these stages with young children, which are tough. Although I think they're probably tough all the way down. This tag I probably shouldn't say out loud because it has a swear in it, but 9 books in here, all related to business, or money management, subjects that are interesting to me, but they're all nonfiction. And so again, I kind of take those whenever I'm not feeling like my work is bogging down my brain. Smart tags, I think everyone has this bell icon. It's an option if you want to be alerted when a book becomes available at your libraries, but they are not currently available. So I won't go through that one. Native here, these are from the Book Riot 10 Must-Read Native American Authors that they published in March of 2023. There was a lot more books on this list, but I delete books from the tags as I read them. So I picked, there was probably like 10 or 15 books in that article, and I picked, I think, probably between 7 and 10 of them. So I've read a few now, and I DNF'd one. That was The Marrow Thieves. I just am not a YA girl anymore. Sorry. I know everyone that I've talked to or have watched that has read that loved it, but it was not my jam. I listened to last year Killers of the Flower Moon, which was about the Osage murders and trials. That was great. The next one that I would probably get to in this list would be The Sentence by Louise Erdrich. She is an author that's been on my radar for a while. Once I get through these 4, I will probably add more to this list and look up other, like recommended Native American authors or Native American books by Indigenous people, or really just North American Indigenous authors. But for now, I want to get through those 4 first before I add more to the list. Book club. These are books that members of my book clubs, mostly one of my book clubs. I'm in 3, technically, although really only 2 of them are active. But the one that's inactive, they read a few books for meetings that I couldn't attend, and so I wasn't planning to read the book for them. And so I've just compiled them here because all of my friends have read these now, basically, and I haven't. That book club went on for a good 3 years before it sort of dissolved, just with a lot of work and family responsibilities from the group. But anyway, so they've all gotten to these books and I haven't. So I would like to address them at some point. Not a super high priority since that book club has kind of dissolved. You will also notice it has a wine glass as its little insignia. So it was only loosely a book club. Not a BPL, I've already explained. This has Hangugo Chek, which is my Korean books. I've put a few children's books, which I think are all picture books in here, and they're probably 30 pages each tops. I have been loosely learning how to speak and read Korean for a few years now, and I thought it might be nice to just try to read one of these all the way through. I know they're children's books. They're probably meant for 5 to 10-year-olds. But no, not 10-year-olds because they're reading chapter books. Probably meant for 5-year-olds. That's where my reading level is at. So, one day I'll kind of comb through these and see, maybe do one a month or something. And then lastly, I think I already mentioned this, but the TBR hosts all of the fiction books that I want to read. Many of these also are featured in other subtabs, as you saw. But this is just the full list of them. So if ever I'm I don't know what I want to read, let's just have a look, peruse through. None of my holds are available. I don't have anything, coming up for an in-person book club that I'm a part of. I will sort by, okay, do I want an ebook or an audiobook? Let's say ebook. And I'm going to sort by what's available now and show the results. And there's probably 100 of them. Oh, actually, I own this book now, so I can delete that. But yeah, you get the idea. I think we saw these 2 in the Olive Reads. I know we saw this one in the Mara favorites. So many of these are in other places, like I said. But every time I add a book into my Libby TBR tags, I will check if it aligns with any of the other full tabs too. So yeah, that's my story. Let's see, just to show an example here. So The Obsession by Nora Roberts, this was a Mara fave. You can actually see when you click on the book if you have it tagged somewhere. So this is tagged in 2 places. If I wanted to be like, oh, hey, this also will work for my Herkyed prompts, let's add it in there, I could click this and include it. It isn't, so I won't, but you get the gist. Yeah, so that's my story. Hope you enjoyed this. I would love to hear if you have any cool Libby tags yourself. Let me know what's on them, because I think this is a really fun way to organize books, to keep thinking about books. I mean, I won't go in and say that I'm like constantly managing this. Maybe like once or twice a year I'll go in and really like comb through it. There's probably 400 books total, divvied up among all of these tags. But yeah, sometimes I just like to add one and be like, okay, this is a new challenge for myself. This is something that I really want to focus on. I want to read down this group, and I'll do it just like that. Okay. Anyways, that's all for me today. Thanks for coming over to Eve's Book.